Hi, this is Isabel Letzler, the place to be to develop your skills and grow your potential. So today's video is about a very sensitive topic, but yet very important part of the recruitment process. It's salary negotiation. So a lot of people struggle with that because they lack knowledge, I think, is the bottom line. And unfortunately, in this part of the world, and I would say Europe altogether, more specifically Switzerland, but I would say it's Europe altogether, there's not a lot of salary information out on in job description. So it's hard to know when you apply for a job, especially if you're not local. It's hard to get this information, but you can get it, and that's why I'm making this video. There's ways to get a little bit of information. Doesn't mean you will get everything, but there's ways to find out. So the first step is research the market. So the way you can find out is by checking those online tools like Glassdoor, PayScale, 81 cents. I will post that below so you can access them, and also by Google, you know, the type of position you're looking for. Sometimes you can come across a forum. There's Quora as well. Sometimes expats talk about their situation in Switzerland and their experience, and salary could be part of that. So I welcome you to check that. So there's lots of platforms, usually expat orientated platforms where people share the cost of living as well, the salaries, etc. So I will post a bunch below. There's internations, there's locals. So you may find some things there by doing research on these platforms and online. Now, the second way to find research is working with recruiters. So recruiters are basically the people who place people day in and day out. So they understand, you know, for specific kind of work, this is how much it gets paid. You know, this is basically, you know, the city where accountant get paid so much, and they will be able to share that with you. Technically, when they call you for a job, they would have that information already because it's part of presenting the job to you, where they would say, you know, our client is looking for an accountant in Geneva, and this is the band of the salary. They will never tell you it's this salary. They will say it's a band. So it's from this to this. So let's say they will tell you it's 60 to 65, for example. So then you know a little bit what to expect. So recruiters are a great source of information. If you can contact them and find out, you get a little bit closer to educating yourself about your search and becoming also more aware, so that when you have the interview, you've done your research, you know if it's something that's decent. But keep in mind that when you apply for big organizations, they don't just give you a number out of, you know, the hat, as we say. It's usually based on internal salary structures. So I would say overall, you can be guaranteed that it's quite structured, again, and formal. So you don't have to worry about getting paid something that's not reasonable. So that's good, but it's always nice to know ahead of time. I mean, even though the salary that will be presented to you is a good salary and usually respects, you know, the cost of living and the industry and all that, it's still good to know ahead of time so that you don't have the surprise. So again, I would encourage you to do your research on that. Number two, as part of salary negotiation, so after educating yourself, being more aware, doing your checking, so that's going to make you feel also more confident because you're aware. The second thing is to take into account what the salary pays. So let's say that your research shows that the job gets paid 60 to 65, and then the company maybe will quote you that the job pays 68 to 72 based on what you learned from, let's say, the headhunter was trying to place you. So what you want to do is place yourself always a little bit above. So let's say max of your target is 72. You know, then you want to go maybe to 75. And you know you're never going to be hired for 75,000, but you know there's going to be negotiation, and you probably end up in the higher end of the company target. So if the company thought, okay, I want to hire between 68 and 72, and you said 75, probably they offer you, I don't know, 70 or something like that, and you still end up within the higher end. So that's what you want to do. You know, always position yourself a little bit above their salary band, and you know they're going to bring you more towards their territory, but it's going to be a good positioning for you in that new job. So that's just something to keep in mind. So that's what you do as number 2. And number 3 is don't get too panicked over salary and all that stuff, especially again if you apply for big multinationals or big companies. They have structure, so they're not going to lowball you most of the time. It's based on structure, it's based on your knowledge, on what you know about the market, what you know about the organization and your experience and so forth. So there's lots of criteria to determine salary. So you don't have to worry about, again, getting a low salary, not being properly rewarded and all these things. What you can prepare, and that would be my last advice as number 3, is just some negotiation points. So let's say if they were to hire you or to offer you something that's a little bit lower than what you expected, maybe you can have negotiation on other things like getting a free parking, or maybe getting some lunch vouchers, or maybe getting some other kind of reward or a compensation, extra compensation in another form, where it would probably offset. Maybe you can work a couple days from home, and that is going to lower the cost of going to the office. So you can do a few things to end up closer to what you really want than what they offer. And if it's too far away and you feel that it's not really what you wanted, then of course you can always decline the offer that you receive. But those are already points that you can activate. Educate yourself, position yourself a bit above what the company target is for that position. And finally, make sure that you get something prepared for what kind of other things could I negotiate on if I don't get the exact salary I wanted. Maybe time off, maybe some kind of reward, parking, goodies and perks, we call them, that will offset not getting the salary you wanted. So feel free to post below if you have any questions, if you want to get more information on those particular topics. Again, always happy to get your feedback, and I will talk to you soon.